hear you. Hey.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Giving Tuesday, my friend. How are you? It feels off a little bit doing a show on a Tuesday opposed to a Monday, but for good reason. How's your day going, by the way?
Hey, happy Giving Tuesday to you and yours and everybody that's going to be here. I hope you guys are ready for this. There's going to be so many great organizations we're going to talk about. I mean, Chris, it is weird because Tuesdays is usually my day for not on this. So it is a little, I feel like, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. It's when we throw off our routines, we get discombobulated, as you know. But I'm super excited. This is one of my most favorite shows of the year. Being able to highlight as many organizations as we are about to. And before I give some of the information away, I wanted just to say, as always, of course, this show is not possible without our sponsor, our presenting sponsor. They basically have supported this, and I'm losing my words because my computer went down and the read's gone, Sia. So give me 2 seconds. But of course, Speakeasy Custom Tattoo is our presenting sponsor. My personal tattoo artist, Patrick Cornolo, his wife, Kelly, are like family and have been supportive of, me in many, many ways, throughout my endeavors. I met them first and foremost through Healing Inc. And after my experience of being in the mass shooting, they do great work supporting trauma survivors by giving them the gift of art in the form of a tattoo. And I was so lucky to have been assigned Patrick Cornolo several years ago. And since then, we've just been great friends and supporters of one another. And so I finally pulled it up. My computer's back and loaded. So Speakeasy Custom Tattoo is located in the Wicker Park neighborhood of Chicago in the historic Flatiron Building. And with over 30 years of experience, they have a curated staff of magnificently talented local and international artists. And they continue to host monthly guests from all over the world. They're an appointment-only custom tattoo shop offering a wide range of styles in a clean and relaxing atmosphere. And whatever style you're looking for, they will be sure to make your vision come to life. Be sure to check out their artists on their website at www.speakeasycustomtattoo.com. Be sure to tell them Chris sent you. It's likely you'll see me in the chair next to you because I have some work to be done. And more to come about Speakeasy. But Sia, let's intro the show, and we'll get this thing kicked off.
All right, let's do it. Hello.
I'm still dancing and bobbing my head. I love that intro you've created. It'll never go away. That's just the way it'll be forever and always. I just am so excited every time I hear it. It gets me jacked up to do what's usually a 30-minute live stream on Mondays, as we discussed earlier. But today is a super special day, Sia. As you know, it's Giving Tuesday, and we're giving back in our own way, if you will. You've been so kind. As I was talking about Speakeasy supporting Hail Hail Auctions by sponsoring the appeal, Patrick and Kelly being great friends of mine and just a great support system in many ways. But as have you been, frankly. And, the partnership, my tag team partner, as I call you, because I'm a wrestling fan, you give so much to me. You give so much to so many organizations. And so I'm going to give back to you today a little bit. So Hail Hail Auctions is going to make a $50 donation to a charity of your choice in your name. So in the spirit of Giving Tuesday, no pressure. We don't have to pick one yet, but any charity you find near and dear to your heart, somebody that is impactful in your life in some way, shape, or form, whatever charity that is, we'll make a $50 donation in your name just for all you do for us. because we know, and I know the work that goes on behind the scenes to get this show together. Today, especially, if you will, we have 12 different organizations coming on in what I call the speed dating of charitable giving, right? The Giving Tuesday speed dating. So for 8 to 10 minutes, we're going to hear from 12 of the most amazing community building organizations. And as I say, Hail Hail Auction's mission is to raise awareness and money for community building organizations. And while we can't guarantee money will be raised and we can't give to all the organizations, we can guarantee through our work today, awareness will be raised, and it can't be done without you. So with that little spirit of Giving Tuesday, I hope you allow me to do that, because you mean a lot to me and everything we do.
No, thank you very much. And I feel very honored that you're doing that on our behalf as Brilliant Bee Media. I think in our ways, sometimes you don't have the funds. If you don't have the funds, and we all been there and done that, give your time, give your voice to help maybe bring awareness. That helps too. Right. And so I appreciate it. And I think that's where we come into play, is that, though we're all not millionaires, we definitely can be millionaires in the context of our time and our attention and our willingness to just, having, what's that called? Main character vibes, share our main character vibes with others. Right. So, because unfortunately, as life happens, right, we do and can become NPCs for others, right? Non-playing characters. Yeah, I'm in game mode right now. So, real quick, for those that I do want to let you know, I was a little distracted earlier, and I apologize. We had some technical issues earlier, so I am in the process. For those that were looking at the original link, I did send them to this link right here, Chris, just so you're aware. So if you see me kind of distracted again, it's because we had some technical issues on the setup from the jump. And so I'm just funneling and making sure people are coming our way here. And so for all of our great giving organizations, if you might have shared the other link, I'm going to put it in our private chat for all of you that are joining the background. Just make sure you share that link into your own social media as well, just to make sure. And I apologize. We just found this error. It was supposed to be fixed and it wasn't. So sorry.
Restream
make it happen.
Restream needs to give us a refund. No, I'm just kidding.
It could have been human error. I'm not going to lie to you. It happens.
It happens. But nevertheless, as you were saying, and as I've noted throughout the course of the years now that the appeal, that we've been so lucky to host our show, one of the things that stuck out to me above the financial need of all the organizations we work with and partner with, is the need for volunteerism, as you said, as the need for donated goods and services, or, just sponsorship, whatever the case may be. And so I have a few facts for Giving Tuesday that I thought would help set the stage. And I wanted to maybe see if you had some knowledge of these things. But to your point earlier, Sia, last year for Giving Tuesday in 2024, 9.2 million people volunteered on this day in some form or fashion.
Wow.
Giving back to organizations, whether it's through, events like this, or going out and volunteering at programs and services or facilities for some of the great organizations throughout our world. So 9.2 million people volunteered. 12.9 million people donated some form of a good to an organization.
Love that.
And 36.1 million adults gave some form of financial contribution to an organization in 2024 on Giving Tuesday, which is astronomical. I would have never guessed those numbers, which goes to show, and I think gives hope for the future as it relates to philanthropy, as it relates to giving back, as it relates to partnering and uplifting organizations that do good in our world, compared to some of these corporations and billion-dollar organizations who capitalize, if you will. And if you didn't know, also, see, Giving Tuesday started in 2012, so it's a new initiative, 13 years old.
Oh yeah, that's really new.
It was started by one organization out of New York called the 92nd Street Y, which is a Jewish cultural center. And through their effort, this became now what's a global movement. As of last year, 75 countries participated in some form of Giving Tuesday, which is just, again, astronomical. And back in 2012, when the 92nd Street Y Jewish Cultural Center started Giving Tuesday, their aim was to counter consumerism by shifting the focus to giving, which I thought was just inspirational in many ways, because as we know, this time of year, the holiday season, can be very gluttonous, and it's very media and capitalized, and marketing and all these things, right, become almost unrealistic for parents and families to meet the moment. And so I think it's really noble, countering consumerism by shifting the focus to giving. And so I threw a lot at you, and I have a few more facts, but anything that stood out to you?
I did not know that it's only 13 years old. I thought it was something that started in the 70s. You know what I mean? I guess it makes sense when you think about Stream-A-Thon. You'd have to look more modern, right, to be able to do that. But the $9 million, I think that one, is that 9 million, right? Was the number?
9 million people volunteered, just
9
gave their
million
time.
people volunteered.
Yep.
I mean, again, just assuming one person impacts just one other person, that's 9 million people alone. I mean, to me, that's a huge win.
Yep. Okay. So and here's how I know Giving Tuesday has made it, if you will. Before we got on the show, I received my constant contact, or whatever, survey, whatever the organizations used for mass emailing. But from Pearl Jam, my favorite band, they have a foundation, the Vitology Foundation, and they entice and they uplift organizations as well. So they're soliciting donations for the organizations they support, right? Think in just 13 years, you have global brands and bands and, giving back. But if you had to guess, Sia, how much money was raised last year? So on this day 1 year ago in 2024, Giving Tuesday, how many dollars do you think were contributed by those 36.1 million adults, as we said?
36 million.
Okay, close.
Really? I was just making it up.
No, the numbers were right, but you were wrong in the decimal points. $3.6 billion with a B.
No way.
$3.6 billion in 2024 were gifted on this day, Giving Tuesday, which was a $500 million increase from 2023. So $500 million increase from year to date, from 23 to 24. So I could only imagine what today will bring to organizations, and I'm just thankful that we are trusted to tell 12 different organizations' stories and be a small part of what we're hoping to raise more than that, right? As a society, more than that 3.6 billion. But that blew my mind too.
It reminds me of a line, a Depeche Mode song, of course. Everything counts in small amounts and large amounts. Everything counts in large amounts. Now, granted, the song is a little bit more pessimistic after the web, but I love that line, right? Everything counts in large amounts. So I think any bit of effort, again, if it's time, attention, or money, obviously, that's all we can ask for. And I think that's so awesome. So Chris, let me ask you something. Where do you think you get and got your desire to help others? Do you think it was something that was always in you? Your parents? Like, how would you like to say where you got it from?
You know what? I think it's first off, my upbringing, right? My parents are very kind in nature and giving back, as you know. You've met them both and spoken with them both. But looking back, even when I was in elementary school in the Chicago public school system, I won the principal's award at a young age, right, for like being a helper and working with the disabled children in my school or in my grade. And then when we moved to the suburbs, I had two friends with muscular dystrophy that I was kind of their aide and helped them on the bus. And so like, it was always just part of what I did, and then as I became an athlete, it was rooted in us that because we were so fortunate to be athletes and have this platform to give back in that regard. And then as a leader in Park District world, right, that was an initiative of mine, creating events and raising money for projects and things like that. And then obviously, as you know, having been in the mass shooting, it just intensified my desire to make the world a better place through whatever I could do, right? We can't focus on everything. I can't focus on gun control. I can't focus always on mental health. I can't. So giving back is kind of the way I look at what it is I do best, whether it's through the Walking Tall movement, which we'll talk about briefly later on, or Hail Hail Auctions. It's just what gives me the most joy. And I don't want to live my life any other way. You know what I mean?
I love that. And you know what? I think you have a very very giving heart. And I think that's something that I don't know if it can be taught. Yeah, sure, it could be encouraged, but sometimes you just have fire in the belly and just an innateness. It's like in you, right? Maybe it's your soul, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I just want to let everyone know that's listening. This is all 100% Chris's idea. He was the one that was like, Sia, can we do it? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll always make the time for you to do it. And so, truthfully, you make other people think and feel better and do better. So Chris, kudos to you. I know, Hail Auctions is, rooted in goodness and helping others. So I think that's what's going to be what's exciting about today. Really excited to hear from all of these organizations you've been able to, I don't want to say compile, but this gathering, it's a huge credit to you that you've gathered them.
Yeah, it's a congregation of great people. And, as we say that the capitalism is in collaboration, or the collaboration, how do we say it? The collaborative capitalism, right? That's
a Janice.
Yeah. And we got a lot of great people. And so we're going to run short on time. So before we just keep babbling like we always do, it's time to send you backstage and bring on our first guest. I'm super excited to introduce Miss Grace Araya, the CEO of Concordia Place. And if you don't know, Concordia Place disrupts social inequities through access to top quality education, enrichment, and hands-on experiences that include all children, teens, and families. So, Sia, without further ado, that's enough of you. Let's hear from Grace. There she is. Grace, how are you? Welcome to the appeal and celebration of Giving Tuesday. It's so I'm just so excited and honored to have you on the show. We've been trying for months, it feels like, to connect. So
yes.
To celebrate Giving Tuesday, I'm glad we're able to have you on. So if you don't mind, people, please tell folks about yourself and a little bit about Concordia Place.
Yes. Well, Chris, I just want to say thank you for having me on, and thank you for this platform and using this platform to support nonprofit organizations. Really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm Grace Araya, President, CEO of Concordia Place. Concordia Place is a vibrant nonprofit organization in Chicago. A little bit about myself: I started off as an early childhood educator. And so that is really where my passion is. So I've been in the early childhood field for many years. So about Concordia Place. Concordia Place started 44 years ago. So fun fact, our origin story is about the three Barbaras. So the story goes, Concordia Lutheran Church, the pastor there, Pastor Zook, he was out and about one day, and three women, all happened to be named Barbara, approached him and let him know that they needed help finding after school programming for their children. And they were all named Barbara. And so he invited them in to have a conversation. They were part of the first planning committee and thought, let's see what we can do. How can we support the community? And for me, that's because Concordia Place always had this principle of being a place of yes and being a place of all. And so they thought, let's just respond to the community need that we're seeing, and started an after school program that quickly turned into, well, we have younger children as well that need early childhood services. And so again, the answer is yes, let's do it. And so the original location was there at the church. A lot of great things have started at church basement. So that's where our original site is. And then it grew into a nonprofit organization now with 4 locations across the north and northwest side of the city, where we provide early childhood education, home visiting. We also have a teen leadership program. And so we serve about 1,000 children, teens, and families a year. So
unbelievable. Yeah. 1,000 teens, children, just to hear the scale at which Concordia Place grew in just a short time, 44 years, right, is a testament to the initial mission and vision and the three Barbaras. But it's also a testament to leaders like yourself, right? Yes. And being able to enhance an organization, push the needle forward, if you will, is a lot of hard work. And it goes with a lot of partnerships. It goes with a ton of outside the box thinking and yes. Rooted in faith, right? Yeah. You guys have a foundation, I think, that the standard is already set, and you have a platform, as you said, I have with Hail Auctions, right? To be able to do good in the community and be a trusted resource and leader. And talk a little bit about, Grace, if you don't mind, quickly, how is that scaling, and what are some of the future plans for Concordia Place under your leadership?
Sure, absolutely. So I do want to say one of the things that makes Concordia Place really unique is that we have a mixed income model. So from the very beginning, back to our guiding principle of being a place for all, we wanted to make sure that every single family that wanted access to the services we provide will be able to afford it. So we have a sliding scale tuition and families pay what they are able to afford. And
Amazing.
really what that does is that creates this rich diversity where folks from different backgrounds are together, from a very young age. Children are with children that may look different than them, speak a different language. And so all that supports their development. And so that's a huge part of what we do. And we continue to fundraise so we can support that, right? If families are paying what they're able to, then Concordia Place and all our supporters help to make sure we can support those families. And so one of the, I think, exciting things recently is that our home visiting program, this is where our home visitors go into the home. They support families in that very critical stage of they may have just brought home a baby, thinking about, parenting and what is it they need to do. So supporting them in their role as the child's first teacher. And so we are expanding that program. When we started, we were serving 24 families, and we are hoping by the end of the year to serve 126 families.
That's
Yes.
breathtaking, right? That's,
Yes.
I mean, even though I'm an auctioneer, I'm not good with math that quick. I don't know how many percentages that is. That's like the 300% increase, right? From 24 to
Yes, we're gonna.
125. So
Yeah,
whatever that is, that's just amazing. And that doesn't, as you said, and as you know, it doesn't come without funding, right? And
that's right.
so, as you know, we want to make sure we allow Concordia Place to be highlighted. Talk about what Giving Tuesday means to your organization, where some donations will be going. Do you have any big events planned for it? Like, what does a day like today really mean for Concordia Place to be able to go from 25 to 125 families, in
Yes.
home, et cetera?
Yeah, well, our goal for Giving Tuesday is really to kickstart our end of the year giving, right? And so we're hoping today to be able to raise 5,000 to help kickstart our annual end of year giving, so that we can continue to support the programs that we're providing. Really, it's either free or very low, right? That parents are paying what they're able to. So we need to continuously fundraise to be able to do that. But I just wanted to share another program that we're really hoping to support with the donations that we receive is our teen leadership program. And so in that program, teens, one particular one is where they learn entrepreneurial skills. They make natural body products. So they learn about marketing, entrepreneurial skills, and we have an earn to learn model where the teenagers are paid to be there, after school, so that they don't have to, in lieu of coming and learning, have to go find a job to support their families, because most of our teens would be qualified for free or reduced lunch. And so we support our teens through this program. So part of what we use our funds for is to support that teen program, which, is really, really amazing results. When we look at the impact, if a teen has gone through our program all the way through their senior year, 100% of them graduate versus, say, the rate right now for CPS is 84%. Still very great results, but we find that all our teens, if they've been with us, they end up graduating. They also, 60% end up getting a full ride, a full scholarship to a 4-year university. And so we're just really proud of that impact, knowing that from the youngest child, right, all the way to teens that are leaving us, that we're laying a strong foundation for them for life.
Love it. And it all starts coming from a place from yes, right? And as you said earlier, that's really what stuck with me throughout this conversation. It's amazing to see what saying yes can do, right? I think as a
Yes.
society, we're so guarded, and rightfully so in certain degrees, but our first reaction is no, right? And
Right.
what I know about working with great people like yourself and great organizations like Concordia Place is when we consider others' perspectives and we come from a place of yes, great things can happen.
Right.
And so if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It'll
Yes.
take you directly to Concordia Place's website. And for your information, it's www.concordiaplace.org. Once
Mhm.
again, concordiaplace.org. Please scan that QR code there. You can find out all of the amazing work and programs as Grace so beautifully described here throughout our conversation. And so, Grace, before we move on and get to our next guest, I want to just give you one more opportunity. Where can somebody find out more about you or Concordia Place? How can they learn about the amazing services you provide? now's your last chance to connect with individuals.
Yes,
I want to wish you
absolutely.
a well for Thanksgiving, and thanks for coming.
You too. Yeah, definitely. You can go to concordiaplace.org. You will find information about all our different programs and how to donate. And like I said, for us, we believe in investing early. We know you get the greatest return when you invest early. And so that's what we're trying to do, is the society that we want to see. We're part of creating it. So thanks for your time, Chris. Really appreciate you having me. And thank you to everyone that's clicking, using that QR code. We really appreciate it.
Yep, and we appreciate you. And so before we say goodbye, I just want to let you know who our next guest is, Grace, because part of my initiative here throughout today's Give-A-Thon or Stream-A-Thon and my work with Hail Hail Auctions is to bring great people like yourself with our next guest together, right? You never know in creating connection, the resources that could be shared or the work that can be conducted. And so our next guest, if you don't know, is Miss Elle Olam. She's the Chief Development Officer of the Chicago Furniture Bank. And their mission is to provide essential furniture to individuals and families in need. And so I'm going to send you backstage and wish you well today. But if you could stick around and listen to what Elle has to say, I'm sure you're going to be excited about the Chicago Furniture Bank has to offer. So Grace, thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, Chris. I'll be sure to do that.
There she is. Elle, how are you? You're an old timer. You're already been a guest on the appeal, and so I'm so excited to have you back and just catch up, but most importantly, highlight the Chicago Furniture Bank and celebrate Giving Tuesday alongside you. So, if you will, please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about Chicago Furniture Bank.
Yeah, thank you so much. I am thrilled to be back here again. I work at the Chicago Furniture Bank. Most people do not know who we are or what we do. So, myself, you already talked about me. I'm not here to talk about me, but at the Chicago Furniture Bank, that's what we're here to talk about. We provide furniture and household essentials to folks moving out of homelessness, leaving DV situations, veterans, seniors, kids transitioning out of care. And essentially we provide furniture for about 4,000 homes a year. And that includes dining room tables, beds for everyone, dressers, sofas, sofa chairs, pretty much everything they need to turn their house into a home.
Unbelievable. And as I know, right, that comes with a lot of work and a lot of warehouse space. And so if you don't mind, talk a little bit about, we were doing our tech check earlier today and we were like, what's that all about? And you're like, yeah, Chris, I'm in a warehouse, right? So not only do you guys uplift families and provide furniture and do all those things, but you store these donations that you go get yourselves at times as well on site. So talk about that warehouse, would you?
Yeah, I mean, earlier when you guys started, you were talking about donating goods. So we should talk about how we get our furniture. We get our furniture from people like you, people that are downsizing, moving, they're looking to get rid of furniture. You can donate it to us. So we will come out and pick that furniture up, and then we bring it to our warehouse. We have about 75,000 square foot warehouse in Brighton Park, where we have probably right now about 500 beds, but only about 20 tables and about 20 dressers. So what happens is we work with over 500 nonprofit partners to find clients to come in and shop, and they really get that personalized experience. So about 10,000 square feet of that warehouse is set aside as a showroom, like you're going to a furniture store like a Walter E. Smith or a Wayfair, and folks get to pick out what they want and what fits their style, so that they're not just kind of going into a cookie cutter home, but really just making it the way they want it to be.
I love it. And, it makes it, as you said, almost custom, right? I think the last thing the Chicago Furniture Bank would want is for, people to feel as if they're just being ran through a factory, right? Here's your chair, here's your couch. Like, you want folks to feel as if they're being at home. And I know you guys do such a great job of that. And, the outreach it takes in your role as the Chief Development Officer is significant, as I know. Unfortunately, I was booked for your last gala this past November. So I wasn't
so is Chris Hensley. I see him on this message board.
Yeah, so we're booked. I mean, we're busy guys, so you got to get with us soon. Like, if you're planning already for next year, let us know so we can make sure you guys are taken care of. But honestly, how did the event go? Talk a little bit about some of the vehicles you've implemented to raise money.
I like how you just said vehicles, because this past year, we'll go to the gala in a second, but this past year we introduced the inaugural Chicago bed race.
You stole my thunder. I was going to ask about that next.
No, you said
Oh, but
vehicles.
go ahead.
That's what we did. We took like dorm style beds and turned them into race cars. Essentially, we added wheels, we reinforced them, we made sure they were safe. We got about 10 teams out at a local brewery. We closed down the road and we raced these beds down the street. They were all decorated differently. It was kind of wild. They do it at another furniture bank, which is where I got the idea from. But I'm like, we don't do this here. Chicago loves unique events. So our first year, we got a lot of press, which was really exciting. We're doing it again next year, sometime in the end of September. The date's not booked, but it is the event to be part of. It's absolutely a blast. And then, yeah, like most organizations, we have a big gala, which we just had 2 weeks ago. We ended up being right around $450,000 in our third year. So that's a huge bump for us. And then we'll be introducing another new event in April for Earth Day, because that, again, rolls into what we're doing, because not only are we providing this furniture and pots and pans for folks, with the work we do, we keep about 3 million pounds of trash out of landfills annually, by keeping furniture out and, again, reusing pots and pans and artwork and lamps and even fake flowers or plants. Like whatever we can pick up and give to folks, that's what we do with it. So our 3 pillars are really about giving people furniture, being sustainable and keeping the earth green. And then we have a workplace development program as well.
So, as you know, and as you just expressed, right, as organizations evolve, not only do they start with their one mission, their mission grows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like furnishing houses turns into, keeping millions of pounds of furniture out of landfills and work establishment for various populations. It's like so inspiring. And so, as you know, today's Giving Tuesday, and it's a big day for many organizations, Chicago Furniture Bank being no different. So if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It'll take you directly to chicagofurniturebank.org, just as it sounds, chicagofurniturebank.org. There you can learn all about the amazing initiatives and events and all the work it is that they do. So please talk a little bit about Giving Tuesday.
Yeah. So of course we love financial donations, right? That's what keeps us afloat. But earlier again too, you mentioned volunteerism and you mentioned donated goods. We need tables. We need dressers. We need your furniture. Stop putting it in the alley. Stop putting it on Marketplace. Call us. Go to our website. Send a picture. We'll come and pick it up, and we'll get it to people we need. So again, a great opportunity to recycle your furniture. You really want to get new pots and pans and you don't know what to do with the old ones because they're perfectly fine. Bring them to us. Also, volunteerism is huge around here. We could not operate without the support of our volunteers. And in fact, we have about 1,000 hotel room furniture packages that'll be coming our way in the next couple of days. So we are in desperate need of volunteers that want to come out starting next week for the next 2 weeks to move furniture. So if there are people out there that want to give their time because that's what they have to give, reach out to me. We'll get you out here for a day or two and get you moving furniture.
Yeah, I recall having you last on the appeal. One of the things I was amazed and really didn't consider is how you guys do have great partnerships with hotels or college dormitories or, large scale office furniture refurbishing and things like that. Talk briefly real quick, Al, about the partnerships. What does that entail? Because I think that's, certainly somebody should understand what that goes into.
Yeah, I mean, and it really goes to the scope of the work we do. So we, in 2021, after the pandemic hit and Salvation Army and Goodwill stopped taking furniture in general. So we started collecting that, but then we realized it wasn't going to be enough. So we started a junk removal company and also a large scale decommission branch of the work we do. So we will do hotel decommissions and college and university decommissions. So all those mattresses, those plastic mattresses you used to sleep on in college, they come to us. Those beds, the heavy wood dressers. We get furniture from Ohio State.
Oh boy.
Dig. OH, by the way. We get it from Colorado State. We get furniture from as far away as San Diego. We just did a decommission for a hotel in Joliet where the casino is. We're about to, this big decommission that's coming up is for the hotel right at McCormick Place. So awesome. We bring all that furniture in. And again, that's really it's great, but it's all the same. And that goes back to what we talked about, is like getting people the style and the furniture they want. We don't just package that furniture up as a hotel room and give it to someone. We let them come in and pick and choose. And then we also, on a total side note, I'll shout out another partner of ours, Project Hood. They're coming in with they have a woodworking cohort. So they're going to come in and take some of that college dorm room furniture and refurbish it and restyle it so that it does look a little bit different and get it back out on the showroom floor. So they're coming tomorrow night to do that work. So again, that volunteerism, partnerships, hotels, office space. If you know someone that's looking to get rid of furniture, call us. We turn desks into kitchen tables all the time.
Amazing.
I mean,
and you said it, right? You said it exactly that. And as much as we can keep talking, we have to move on. But you said it real quick, Elliot, right? El, that, the partnerships, Project Hood, right? While we can't highlight them today, they're not on the show. It's a great example of the cross collaboration and missions aligning and being able to intersect to make the world a better place. And so before we sign off and I introduce our next guest, I want to just give you one last opportunity. Where can folks find you? Where can they make a donation? What's the website? Hype Chicago Furniture Bank one last time.
Super easy. ChicagoFurnitureBank.org. Just like simple as it is. If you want to reach out to me, it's just my name, ELLE at ChicagoFurnitureBank.org. Again, if you have furniture, if you have time, and of course, if you have money, please send it our way. But if you want to learn more, just give me a shout, give me an email, and I'm happy to come talk to anybody anytime.
All right. Well, I love speaking with you. So we're going to have you on again at some point. But before you sign off, I want to just introduce you to our next guest. He's one you're not going to want to miss. Mr. Kurt DeGroot is the founder and CEO of Project Fire Buddies. And if you don't know, Project Fire Buddies brings joy, hope, and relief to children battling critical illnesses and their families. And they've grown to 165 chapters nationwide. So this is going to be a great story. So Al, thank you so much for sharing. We're going to kick you off and we're going to welcome Kurt to the stage. So have a great Giving Tuesday. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris.
Kurt, there he is. How are you, good sir? Are you on shift or off shift?
No, I'm off shift. I got off this morning, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to keep you from serving others, as you know, but I'm so excited to welcome you to the show and highlight all it is that Project Fire Buddies does and how you started. And I make light of are you on shift or off shift, but I want to give you this floor. Introduce yourself, how you got started, and talk a little bit about what Project Fire Buddies is all about.
For sure. First off, it's an honor to have me, so I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I'm biased, but I think Project Fire Buddies is the greatest organization out there. But simple terms, I'm a firefighter paramedic by trade. I'm still in the career, based on the south side of the city. And we go on calls, firefighters, paramedics, we go on calls all the time. And there was a way we saw a need in the communities where there was kids that were, battling these terrible illnesses. And yes, we were able to do our job. We were able to treat the patient, but we wanted to do more. And how can we do more? Because the way we looked at it is people will look at firefighters, police officers, and nurses and everything like they're heroes, but the real heroes of the community are these kids. They're in the battle for their life, and what better way to honor them, And so that's what inspired it. It was just seeing a young man in need and a family in need, and now it's spread like wildfire across the country. So we're in 165 different departments across 14 states. It's been a true blessing. And just to see the impact that we're able to give these families, it's awesome. And it's not just monetary gifts, things like that. What's different about our organization is we create bonds with the family. So the firefighters in their community create bonds with these kids and the families. They're coming over. The firefighters are playing PS5, Xbox with the kids, playing board games, reading stories. Now, I will say the kids usually beat the firefighters when they play the video games.
Me too. My son smokes me in Fortnite.
Yes. Yeah. I can't even come close. And then they want you to build this fort. No way. No, Not going to do it. And the kids get a kick out of it because they look up to the firefighters. But what the kids really don't realize is how much we look up to them because of their just perseverance and their strength. I mean, we've all been down in the dumps and had different flus or illnesses, but imagine feeling that way, you know, for a couple of years and going through this battle. It's awful, you know, and so let's honor those true heroes in the community.
Yep. Well, as you know, and as we've talked offline, you know, I have high regard for many reasons and a strong affection for first responders like yourselves, not only because of the work that you do on a daily basis to make our world safer and better, but the fact that you folks risk your own lives as well. But then I know deep down, as you've articulated so well, not only does the service end on your shift, you guys have just a deep desire to continuously give back in many forms and fashions. And so knowing that you guys have grown so quickly, 165 chapters over 14 states, you know, talk about some of the growth that you've experienced and how you, as the founder of this, you know, idea, frankly, and mission has grown so fast, so quickly, and why.
So if you look at it and you break it down, teachers, nurses, firefighters, police officers, they're all helpers, right? And they're doing a service every time they go to work, every time they punch that clock. They got into that trade because they're helpers. They want to help out. They want to do more, right? And sometimes when you have that personality type, really what refills your cup is making a difference. And we just needed a bridge to fill that gap, right? And I know I needed it, you know, internally for me. And so what better way than use the helpers to create this force to help these kids, you know? And, you know, once people go on these visits, the firefighters, they bring in police officers, public works, like they all join in from the towns, and it's awesome. And I hear about it from them all the time. And they love it because they're like, wow, I made a difference, you know, because when we get called to a medical call, sometimes we can't change what's going on. But with this, we can kind of control that narrative, right? We're going to bring over this medical equipment. We're going to bring over this video game system. We're going to go just hang out and just bond with this family. And it's a beautiful thing when you see it.
Yeah, it truly is. And I never considered, right, you know, the fact that being a helper as you are, and as all first responders are, frankly, right, sometimes the outcome is inevitable. Sometimes you're unable to reverse course. Sometimes the trauma is too significant, right? But the fact that you can be so fulfilled and enlightened by working with children and families of critical illnesses and knowing the impact you could make, you know, has to really, really bring everything back full circle and keep things into perspective. And so if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It's going to take you directly to projectfirebuddies.org. Just as it sounds, Project Fire Buddies, IES, it ends, projectfirebuddies.org. Kurt, you know, we've talked and I've had the honor of getting to know you a little bit offline. You guys do miraculous work and you guys have such great reach. And a big event, as we talked about at the onset of this show, Giving Tuesday, you know, what does a day like today mean to Project Fire Buddies, and what maybe are some of the donations you receive going to be used for?
So like in any charity and any nonprofit, right, we need to diversify our income, right? Our gala is one of the largest things. It's a massive event. We have 1,500 people in the room. It's 1,500 of our closest family and friends that come to celebrate the kids and their families, right? And that's a great thing, but we need to diversify, right? And how do we do that? We have an incredible line of swag that everybody loves to get. You know, we've moved over 85,000 items on our swag store, and that's pfbswag.com if you want any.
There it is.
Yep, it's the greatest stuff around. But now we were missing another portion, so we started the Good Day Makers, and that's a monthly donor program. And with that, you get exclusive insider tips and what we're doing, what's going on, little gifts that we can send that you can't find on our store or anything like that. And with that, in the Good Day Maker, the reason we chose Good Day Maker is because we actually had a family that coined that term. And unfortunately, that family, beautiful family, but they lost their daughter to a rare brain tumor. And we were there fighting along with the family the entire time. It was heartbreaking to see everything that they were going through. And when the mom came to us and somebody said, "What is Project Fire Buddies?" And she goes, "They just create more good days."
Oh,
because that's all we're looking for. So when we heard that, it gets me choked up even thinking about it, and we're like, you know what? That's beautiful. So do you want to be a good day maker? It's you cancel your Netflix, you cancel your Hulu, jump on with Project Fire Buddies. Maybe not stop for that morning coffee, because you're changing the lives of critically ill children across the country.
love it. Love it. God, that gave me tingles. And so as you heard, and if you haven't already scanned that QR code, projectfirebuddies.org, you can see all the amazing work it is that they do. Kurt, before we sign off, I want to just give you one last chance. Where can folks connect with you? How can they donate? Point people in the right direction, and I'll introduce you to our next guests coming up.
Yeah. So definitely social media, right? We're very social media heavy. We average 1.4 million views a month. So please check us out on Facebook, Instagram. It's a beautiful thing. Social media is filled with so much negativity. You're going to see some positive impacts on there. It's going to make you feel good. And hey, go to our website, join our team. We're always looking for volunteers, and we're always looking for helpers, and sign up to be a good day maker.
I love it. Well, my day was made better, and it's been a good day so far, having great folks like yourself. And so, as again, cross collaboration. So you're going to meet three amazing ladies, Kurt. Sarah Elliott, Kendra Holton, and Dana Merck. They're the co-founders of Headwaters Community Farm and Academy. And Headwaters is a nonprofit community farm and Montessori-inspired academy, cultivating curiosity, stewardship, and connection through hands-on nature-based learning in Kane County. So, Kurt, we're going to kick you off and welcome the ladies to the stage, but stick around backstage. You're not going to want to hear you're not going to want to miss what they have to say. So thanks again, Kurt.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
All right, 1, 2, and 3. We made it. I have to admit, this was my most nervous part of the show, getting all 4 of us on at the same time. So I'm glad we're here. Ladies, you inspire me beyond belief, being a dad as I am, and knowing what you do working with kids and allowing them to express themselves in a more authentic way. And having been on site at your farm and seeing your first fundraiser this past summer and having my kids there, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. So what I'm going to do, because there's 3 of you, I'm going to start with Sarah, and I'm just going to ask Sarah to talk a little bit about Headwaters. And then Kendra and Dana, you guys could chip in and chime in accordingly so we can get everything out accordingly. So Sarah, please, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about who you are and what Headwaters is all about.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate the space and inviting us to be here with the rest of these amazing organizations. Headwaters started as an idea. We all have unique kids that need an environment they can thrive in at school. And so there was 4 moms that came together to really initiate a school that is embedded in a community organization that is really using outside spaces to level our nervous systems and use it as a learning space. Learn about science through outdoor plants and outdoor work, like very hands-on, very tactile learnings. So that's what we knew we needed. And we found a property in Campton Hills that we were super excited about. Very unfortunately, we ran into lots of resistance and some zoning issues. We've had to back away from that property and regroup, but we are a super resilient group. So we are still together.
As all moms are.
Yeah. Yep. We are in it to win it, and it's going to take a while.
But as you were saying, and as I know, I was so lucky to be on site and see what it is you did get. And I think you would attest it was probably for the better, because that property is frankly amazing. My kids still talk about it, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. It was an amazing spot, and we were hopeful that it was going to be our spot, but we are having great conversations. But we've had to pivot. We've been renting a space this year, but our kids are together. We've been really creative about how to get outside. They are able to take a monthly walk to the Aurora Library, or every Friday we've been at a nature space. We were at Leroy Oaks a number of weeks in a row every Friday. So it has been really it's been tough but good. We've got a lot of creativity coming at it. So we're pivoting. We're pivoting, and we're working with a local farm family. We've got our eyes on a spot. We can't say all of it just yet, but just know that we still have the vision, we still have the goal, and we just had to go back to the drawing board for the spot.
It happens. And, listen, as I know, and as I've said, things don't happen for a reason, right? Things happen, but it takes three amazing, resilient individuals like yourselves to be able to pivot and keep the mission alive and keep the vision moving forward and keep serving. And so, Dana, I'll go to you, right? Having been a former, well, I guess we're high school classmates, not former, right? I know the resiliency, and I know a lot about what you've been through, and it doesn't surprise me what it is you guys are, continuing to forge through as it relates to Headwaters. So talk a little bit about your role and what's been some of the joys that you've had participating in this adventure, if you will.
Yeah, it's been an absolute joy. I think the universe really wants us to exist because despite all of these challenges, we're still here. I think the need is there. So we just forged ahead. There's no other school like this in our region, a nature-based school, a secular school, a private school. So we know there's a need, and we know families are looking for connection and community, and are interested in sustainability. So we're just doing it. We're growing these amazing kids who are going to change the world. Our teachers are fantastic. They focus so much on social emotional learning, which I know is right up your alley, Chris.
Yep.
We have these amazing community partners, so our kids can grow to be change makers, to make the world a better place. So a typical day at Headwaters, kids could be planting their garden, tending to the garden, and then eventually harvesting the garden. So the gardens are sponsored by one of our awesome community partners, Oli, OLI Gardens. Shout out to Fred. So we actually have a Gold Star garden bed, which is in honor of fallen first responders. They do amazing work with Victory beds. And the harvest goes to Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry in Aurora. So the children are able to see how embedding nature and gardening into their curriculum can actually make their community a better place. So it's great. You can't, like Kurt said before, like make a good day, right? Like you can't have a bad day at Headwaters.
You just can't. And I see your social media and some of the children and just the joy on their faces when I see them harvesting their garden or petting animals or whatever it is that you guys bring to the curriculum that day, week, month, whatever. So Kendra, to you, talk a little bit about the enrollment, a little bit about what's the growth been like? Because I was, excited to hear, again, not surprised, but I was excited to hear the growth and what you guys have achieved in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, we managed to pull in 20 students, 14 families for this opening year, which is pretty astounding given that we had to pivot out of county 2 months before school started. And we had families who truly believed in the idea of what we're doing, that when we're focusing students on being connected to the earth and connected to their community, they grow up ready to take care of both. Families really bought into that. And so we have these kids on site here with, like Dana said, really magical teachers who can see them and can see how kind and curious they are. And they see what's possible when their nervous systems are regulated, which is what happens with child-directed learning. That's what happens in a Montessori environment, in a project-based environment. So I've been lucky to be on the ground here to get to see the curriculum that we're piloting unfold in real time, and it's working. So we're really excited to launch our enrollment campaign in January and bring in the next round of families that are looking for something like us, like we were looking for a year ago before we decided to jump in and build it ourselves.
Yeah, you guys jumped in head first. And so if you're interested in finding out more about Headwaters Community Farm and Academy, please scan that QR code. There it will take you to their website, headwatersil.org. So it's HEADWATERSIL.org. You can find out all about their amazing curriculum, a little bit about their enrollment process if you're interested in finding a new form of education. And the cool thing I've learned about your organization, not only did you guys have to overcome hurdle after hurdle, and as Sarah mentioned about facility and space and zoning, but you guys are accredited. It's not like you just put together this organization in this school, like kids are getting educated and it's on track with the Illinois State Board of Education requirements.
Yeah.
So that in itself is miraculous, right? Like I know what it takes to build a charity having my own, and I've been moaning and groaning for like a year. And I can't imagine what you guys have had to endure as it relates to just getting accredited by the state and then becoming a nonprofit and then finding a property and like, holy cow, you guys are just three people, but three of the most amazing I've ever met. So, Sarah, I want to just turn it to you quickly. Talk a little bit about what the future holds for Headwaters before we sign off, and I'll give you folks one more time to talk a little bit again.
Well, we're going to keep growing with these kids. We're expanding into high school, not yet, but we're going to as the kids get there. And we are going to have the spaces to meet their needs, as well as we've got, the littles coming in at the other end. So when it's all said and done, we'll be K through 12. Whereas this year we're K through 8. So next year we're going to keep building that end of the growth and watching these kids go from, littles to preteens to teenagers and then, all the way on out. So that's where we're headed. And we're going to have that space that's going to be ours and can really get connected with specific land in the future.
Yeah, and if I'm mistaken, please let me know. I'll let Kendra, you, and Dana Rochambeau for who gets to talk last. But if I'm not mistaken, you guys have a match for today. Is that not right? So
we do.
Please let somebody know about the match, where they could donate, how they can get in touch with one of you if they're interested in enrolling or learning more about it. Because then before we sign off, I'm going to introduce you to our next guest. So Kendra and Dana, you ready? Rock paper? No, I'm just kidding. Whoever wants to take it, have at it. Kendra, it's up to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have a super generous donor who's going to match every single dollar given to Headwaters today up to $25,000. So that means that if someone gives 10 or they give 1,000, it literally grows twice as deep to create the kind of learning that we think kids deserve, which is outside in the garden with the animals in sustainable classrooms. So it's a really great day to help us grow our roots twice as deep. And that can all happen over on headwatersil.org. All the information's there.
And you guys are active on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So please, they're on all the things. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Please stick around backstage as we get to hear from Jim Michael, the Director of Development from A.D.O.P.T Leyden. And if you didn't know, A.D.O.P.T Leyden is a great partner of mine, and they serve children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities and delays and their families by providing individualized therapy, education, housing, job placement, and comprehensive services. So please stick around. You're not going to want to miss what Jim has to say. It's been an honor having you three on, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. There he is, my man, Jim. What is going on? How are you? Thank you for joining. You're another repeat guest, having been on the appeal for A.D.O.P.T Leyden, and I'm just so honored once again to be able to uplift the work it is that you and A.D.O.P.T Leyden do. So if you don't mind, please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about A.D.O.P.T Leyden.
How you doing, brother? Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's hard to encapsulate what A.D.O.P.T Leyden's impact has been in the Oak Park, West Cook County area. We're coming into our 70th year. And if anybody knows the Oak Park community and its ethos, you won't be surprised to hear that in 1956, when a group of parents of some children and young adults with developmental, intellectual disabilities and delays, when they were concerned that their kids were not getting the kinds of education and support that they needed, they just decided to do it themselves. So they started the Oak Community School, very Oak Park, a way to get things done. Is a bunch of parents who weren't going to take no for an answer decided to advocate for their cause. And since that day in 1956, we have grown, and we, as you mentioned, our mission is kind of all over the place in terms of the programs that we provide. We deal with individuals from birth all the way up to the elderly in kind of two main hubs, if you will. The adult piece happens in that transition period when young adults are getting out of the school district, where a lot of their services are taken care of through those school districts where they live, through the IEP process. But, you know, in their early 20s, they start transitioning into being an adult, and that's where Oak Leyden steps in. So we have 2 day programs, one in Oak Park, here where I am, and then one in Hillside. And so we provide individualized instruction in a wide range of disciplines, anything from socialization skills to some vocational training, pretty mild. A lot of our folks are probably not likely to hold employment, but you know, it's great for them to be able to complete tasks and express themselves through work. Some basic, self-care, a lot of recreation, and a lot of exploring the community. I think the most important element of what we want our program participants to feel is they're part of a community, not just living within one, that they are integrated with the people around them, that they know their neighbors, that they are doing some shopping, that they're doing some excursions. That's a huge piece of it.
I love it. And I'll tell you, I saw it firsthand, right? Having been honored to be your auctioneer at your most recent event and planning next year's. So excited.
Yes, sir.
Knowing
ready for our 70th.
Seeing the choir is just blew my mind and filled me so much with joy. It was the highlight of the event, and
for sure.
So if you don't mind, and if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It's going to take you to oak-leyden.org, oak-leyden.org. There you can find out all the great information about Oak Leyden, what it is they do for the Oak Park, West Chicago area. So I know I cut you off, Jim, but I just had to say
I was kind of rambling.
One of the highlights of my year, I talk about it all the time, is that choir performance.
Yeah.
And how much easier it made my job that night.
When you get into the the kind of senior management role in a nonprofit, a lot of us come through the program side. We've worked directly with program participants, and then you get kicked upstairs and you sit in an office a lot of the time, or you're out meeting people. But I will sneak over to our day program when I need a little jolt of positivity and energy, and interact with those folks that you're referring to. It's always a good day. The other hub of what we do is what I really want to focus on during our chat is our children's services, specifically our early intervention program. The state of Illinois provides funds for parents with little ones from birth to 3 that meet a diagnosis of intellectual developmental disabilities. So they can get reimbursed for those kinds of therapeutic services to help those kids catch up a little bit in some of the areas where they might be struggling. That could be physical therapy, it can be occupational therapy, it can be speech therapy, behavior therapy. There's a wide range of challenges that these little ones deal with. And Oak Leyden has 350, give or take, of those children under our care. We work directly with the caregivers of these children, whether it's their parents or a guardian or some other individual that's responsible for their care, to work with the child, but also to teach the various therapeutic intercessions and activities to the caregiver, so they can continue to give this child the kind of support they need. One of the things that sets Oak Leyden apart is that we are one of the few nonprofits that will accept Medicaid waivers for these kids.
Wow.
So unfortunately, in the Western Cook County area, we're almost it when it comes to providing these safety net services to kids whose families are on Medicaid. And so, with the recent funding issues with Medicaid and how that can impact the Department of Health and Family Services here in Illinois, it's definitely a little bit of anxiety connected to all of that. So we're all kind of crossing our fingers. But if Oak Leyden isn't providing those services to those little ones, those families are really stuck. If they have, if they've got the income level or, private pay insurance, they can find other providers. But our folks who provide those services, they are heroes. They are making a conscious decision to work for us and provide these services in the community, knowing they could make better money working in other places, private clinics, school districts, that type of thing. We're really blessed to have these folks, my colleagues, that are out there on the road right now in that snow, visiting families, providing those really important services to these very small little kids. And if you've seen any of the information out there about how early intervention impacts a child's development and the difference it can make in their success later in life, you understand just how critical that work is.
Absolutely. And I know how critical the work is. I've seen it firsthand. I've been so fortunate to get to know you on a personal level, as well as your CEO, Executive Director, RJ McMahon, who I think very highly of. And so before we sign off and we move on, and I'm going to ask you, Giving Tuesday being the celebration today, and if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It'll take you directly to Oak Leyden's website where you can give your gift if you so shall choose. But talk about what this day means, what your initiatives are, and then where folks can find you and make a donation and connect with you if there's more about Oak Leyden.
Well, the easiest way to make a donation is just to hit the QR code you got there and just go directly to our Donate Now drop down at the top of the webpage. That's easy. We also are on the basic socials: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. However, before I take off, I do want to share that, Giving Tuesday was launched as a way to help smaller nonprofits kind of be amplified and promoted and step out of the shadow sometimes of the larger institutional nonprofits. And the darn thing has grown so big now that everybody's doing it. And I think we're kind of right back where we started. But, the fact is that, a lot of nonprofits like an Oak Leyden or some of the other ones that you'll have on today, I think sometimes people make the mistake of thinking, well, that's not my cause. I don't have a kid who has intellectual delays. I don't know anybody who's blind. They're looking for a match with their personal experience. And our podcast that we launched a couple months ago, if you don't mind me pitching it on your podcast.
No, that's what we're here for.
We are working very hard to encourage conversations about how communities work, not just our community, not just our mission, but the importance of nonprofits and the business community and civic governance to find places to collaborate. That's why the name of our podcast is called The Intersection. If you look on our LinkedIn or even on our YouTube channel, you will find The Intersection. We really would love for you to check it out, see what we're talking about. I think that the more we talk about how a community lives, breathes, and grows through those collaborations and looking for areas to connect instead of just waiting for it to drop into your lap, I think that we all benefit. And so if you really want to help, the way you can help is check out one of our episodes of the Intersection, or
I love it.
Even Jim, just look on our LinkedIn.
It's just such another unique way to celebrate Giving Tuesday, right? People don't realize a basic subscribe click on YouTube goes a long way, right? A like, a comment, a listen, a download for a podcast.
It helps the algorithm, as you know, right?
Yeah, how much exactly. And we talked earlier, right? What was it? 9.2 million people volunteered, 12.9 donated goods, right? It doesn't all have to be financial. And so, Jim, I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you for allowing me to share the mission of Oak Leyden continuously. Deep down, I believe wholeheartedly in what it is you all do. But I'm going to ask you to stick around backstage, because as you talked about community intersecting with business and aligning and uplifting individuals with intellectual and developmental and physical disabilities, you're going to want to hear about Gerry's Cafe if you don't already know about it.
I do know about
Natalie Griffin, the co-founder of Gerry's Cafe, is coming on. And if you don't know, Gerry's is a community destination cafe that offers craft food and beverages prepared and served by employees ages 22 and older with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So, Jim, stick around backstage. We're going to kick you off and bring Natalie on. Thanks so much.
See you, buddy.
Natalie, there you. So, C is backstage yelling at me because I'm running behind, and I'm saying, well, we got to hurry up because we got a big event tonight, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I'm so excited to have you on. As you know, and I was so honored to have you and Amy on the appeal a while ago, but celebrating Giving Tuesday, talking about the big event tonight. I'm just so excited to work alongside you. So if you don't mind, let folks know who you are and what Gerry's Cafe is all about.
Yeah.
Well, happy Giving Tuesday. I am thrilled to be here and honored to be a part of this appeal day for celebrating all nonprofit organizations. And we are a small grassroots nonprofit organization that my co-founder, Amy Philpott, and I, Natalie Griffin, started. And our cafe, our nonprofit cafe, opened just a little over 2 years ago. So our mission is simple. We offer meaningful jobs and a fair paycheck to adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So they are here in the cafe. I'm in the cafe right now, and they are at work, and they have learned all the jobs of barista and cashier and sandwich maker, salad maker. They're independent in their jobs. And I wish everyone could see what Amy and I see. And that is the pride that these employees at Gerry's Cafe have. They have joy. They have self-confidence. They have grown in their abilities, and they are thriving in their jobs here at Gerry's Cafe. We've seen a tremendous growth from our opening in 2023 to now. And the hard part is people ask, well, you're open, you're running a business, so why do you need to raise funds? Well, because of our mission, we are offering many employees, many adults in our community to work here at Gerry's Cafe. So we have 34 adults with disabilities who work at Gerry's Cafe, 2 managers and 2 shift supervisors. And our payroll is very high. So we are not quite making it even, breaking even at the register. We do need more customers to come on in the door and try Gerry's for their coffee, breakfast, lunch. And we do need more catering orders. Call up Gerry's Cafe and get your lunches, get your breakfast, get your pastry orders, things like that. But it's also our fresh food and beverages that we offer. High-end quality coffee, fresh made sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches, New York style bagels. We make our sandwiches and our salads and our soups when you order it. There's nothing packaged off a truck, nothing frozen. We are making it fresh for you. So the quality of our food, it's on the expensive side. And with the current economy, we're just not able to make those ends meet as a profitable business. So our 501c3, our grassroots nonprofit, is what supports Gerry's Cafe. So we are brewing opportunities. We are a nonprofit. And on Giving Tuesday, when you give to Gerry's Cafe, you're giving to our people, our employees who work here at Gerry's Cafe. When you donate, you're not just supporting a coffee shop, you're supporting by giving someone dignity. You are giving someone a paycheck. You are giving a purpose to someone who has been denied these opportunities their whole life. And your gift literally sustains the jobs within the cafe that sustain our people who are proud to work here. So we're asking from the bottom of our hearts on this Giving Tuesday to, if you believe in that everyone deserves a chance to work, give to Gerry's Cafe. And if you believe that adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities deserve dignity and opportunity, please consider a donation to Gerry's Cafe. If you want to be a part of something that's literally changing lives every single day, think about giving to Gerry's Cafe. The whole launch to this business was because we observed in the community and nationwide, there's an 80% of adults with disabilities who sit home, who have no place, no purpose, and no job. Not because they don't have skills, talents, and abilities, they can work, but because businesses don't take a chance. And Gerry's Cafe, we opened our door and we said, please, you are welcome here. We celebrate you, we include you, and we will make sure that you are successful. So we provide that training and support and accommodation so that every single employee here is successful in their job at Gerry's Cafe. And that pride shows when they engage with the customers in the community.
Absolutely. And it's in my community, and I'm there quite often, as you know, and I'm going to be there even more often moving forward for many reasons. And I'm so excited to just continue to uplift the work of Gerry's Cafe. And speaking of uplifting, if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It'll take you directly to Gerry's with a G, Gerrys.
Our website.
That's right.
Yep, and there's our website too.
GerrysCafe.org, GerrysCafe.org. It'll take you directly to their website. There you can find out about their catering. You can make a donation. You can place an order. Whatever it is you need, you can find out there. And tonight, Gerry, for Gerry's Cafe, we have Jingle Bingo. at Arlington Ale House, which is another celebration of Giving Tuesday. And I'm so excited and honored to be the bingo caller and MC for the event and working alongside you. So, real briefly, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about tonight's event and what Giving Tuesday means to Gerry's Cafe.
So very exciting. Giving Tuesday is an opportunity for all nonprofits to give their mission and share their story. So tonight we actually are doing a live event at the Arlington Ale House in downtown Arlington Heights, where we've invited guests to come and play bingo. We sold out with 138 bingo players. We also have some social guests coming just to hear some impact stories. So one of our employees here is going to share what she likes about working at Gerry's Cafe. If you can see, this is Samantha, and she works making sandwiches. And then we have Laura back here is doing some baked goods. So you can see when you give on Giving Tuesday that you are supporting people, the people who work here at Gerry's Cafe. And that means the world to us. And it means the world to them to have a place, a purpose, and a paycheck where they are accepted, included, and celebrated here at Gerry's Cafe.
I love it. I love it. And I love you guys. And I will see you tonight. Natalie, thank you for that cool tour. But I have to keep the show moving because, hi, everybody. How we doing? Yep. How we doing? It's so excited to see you. I'll see you all tonight. But listen, we have to get moving. I want to thank you for coming on. I'm going to ask you to stick around because you will absolutely know our next guest. There's been such great alignment from Leyden to Gerry's Cafe and now to the Special Leisure Services Foundation, SLSF, and my good friend Liz Thomas, who's the SLSF Foundation Manager here in the Northwest Suburbs. And the SLSF exists to support children and adults with disabilities through philanthropy for the Northwest Special Recreation Association, an organization we both hold near and dear to our heart for many reasons. So, Natalie, I'll see you here in a little bit at Bingo. Thank you for joining, and we'll talk again soon. So, Sia, please bring Liz up to the stage, if you will. Or she just tried. I don't know if she ran to the bathroom, Natalie, because we're on like a 2-hour schedule here.
We're on live.
Yeah, we're on the live show. So I messaged her. I was wondering if that what was happening because she kept calling me, and I don't know. I know Liz is backstage.
She said, "I'm here."
It wouldn't.
It says I'm here.
Didn't have a hiccup. I'm going to put you on mute and call her and make sure everything's okay. Is that all right? All right. I love it. This is like candid camera. Oh no!
Be on screen.
You did.
Where's Brian?
All right. Well, Natalie, you're free to leave. Sia just informed me she lost power. Her computer's restarting. So we're going to –
oh, wow.
I'm just going to keep flapping my gums about something else until Sia gets back because I don't have the ability to bring anybody to stage. And so you're welcome to leave if you'd like. I don't know how we're going to do this, but Sia's working diligently backstage. This is a bummer. But I think you could click in the top right. You could click leave if you're not it might be easier.
Do you want me to do a dance or something?
Yeah, we could do a quick dance. We could talk about how great Liz is and SLSF and
how awesome Liz is, and she's a great partner for Gerry's Cafe. Some of our employees take advantage of the Pursuit program through NWSRA, which SLSF supports, and yeah, it's an amazing organization.
All right, well, she's back. Okay, Natalie, thank you so much for helping get me through that snafu. I'll see you a little bit here tonight, and we'll talk again soon. So, Sia, thanks for coming back quickly. Let's bring Liz up.
Hello.
Hi, Liz. How are you? I'm so excited to have you on the show once again. Thanks for your patience and that quick power outage down in Dallas where Sia is. But you two are a repeat guest on an appeal, and I'm so excited to celebrate Giving Tuesday with you. So talk a little bit about who you are and what the SLSF is all about.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Glad we could get everything figured out. So, yeah, SLSF supports children and adults with disabilities through the NWSRA. So, all different types of disabilities, all different types of different abilities and different needs, and lots of different programming.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. And as you know, I have a deep affection and love for recreation of all forms. And having worked in the park district world myself, I know the impact the special recreation associations make in many, many capacities. And you have such a great story of how you've gotten into this work, and you know firsthand the impact that your work and the NWSRA has on families. So if you don't mind, talk a little bit about where your passion comes from, because it's just so inspiring to me.
Yeah, absolutely. My sister is the best. So by the time I was 4 years old, I definitely knew how to call 911, how to say the baby wasn't breathing, how to talk about her different needs and her different abilities. Like paramedics would always say, yeah, that little 4-year-old just lectured me all about her special needs sister. um, and so I knew how to be such an advocate from such an early age. My sister was born with lots of different types of surgeries needed, different types of disabilities, from visual impairments to hearing impairments to cardiology issues, and she needed a full-time nurse. And so we couldn't afford that, and so we did the best we could. And then my mom went back to nursing school at Harper College and got a 2-year nursing degree to be my sister's one-on-one. So it's what we grew up around. It's all I know. And I brought Susie everywhere with me. And the world has come a long way with inclusion, but we weren't always there, And so I always tell the stories of showing up to basketball practice, and they'd be like, well, your sister's not signed up. And I was like, oh, she comes with me everywhere, so she's signed up now, figure it out, so here
Liz,
she
I got
is.
to tell you, I was just so honored. You may recall earlier this year, you and I worked together outside Jewel, soliciting and giving Tootsie Rolls out for the Knights of Columbus, and I got to meet Susie and your mom. They relieved us, and it was just so cool to see you two interact, and how much love there was amongst the three of you, your mom and your sister, and it just fills me with such great joy, and why it gives me such pleasure uplifting organizations like Gerry's and Leyden and SLSF, right? Because I know the impact it has on families and people and communities. And you guys do such great work, and you particularly are a networking queen. You're everywhere. Like, if there's a person in the Northwest suburbs you don't know, I would be shocked. And I was so honored to have been the auctioneer for the Celebratability Gala a couple weeks ago, and we did great there. And I know you guys have an awesome fashion show coming up. So talk a little bit about some of the ways in which you guys raise money, your amazing golf outings. Like, what is it that makes SLSF so special? Because you guys are certainly unique.
Well, thank you. So we are very event heavy in a good way. So we have our Celebrate Ability Gala. Chris, you were amazing. You were a great auctioneer. We got lots of positive feedback.
Thank
And
you.
again, you just connect with nonprofits and missions. It's unique and it's special. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And then we have 6 golf outings. So yes, we love a good golf outing. So it's always fun. And then we have our SLSF fashion show, and that highlights our NWSRA participants. They're our models. So we work with local clothing places, local hair places, and again, our participants can really showcase what they can do. It's definitely my favorite event because we've tapped parents and we're like, your child would make an awesome model. And they're like, no, they could never do that. And I'm always like, ooh, I love that phrase. Like, watch us, like, let's do it. So it's super fun. It's a great one. So we love being able to support NWSRA through all of our different events.
Yeah, it's so inspiring to see the involvement of which you have in the community, whether it's the Rotaries or the Schaumburg Business Association and the JC, like the list goes on and on. You're everywhere, and it really doesn't surprise me the growth at which the SLSF has seen, because there are great people like yourself and Ann and Megan. And, and the list goes on and on. I'm forgetting Andrea. I'm forgetting people, of course. I don't want to do that. But the work you do is so impactful in so many ways. And I know Giving Tuesday is impactful to all organizations. So Before we let you go and before we sign off, talk a little bit about what Giving Tuesday means to you guys, how folks can connect with you, learn more about SLSF, and help uplift your mission.
Absolutely. So obviously, wonderful QR code. Thank you. So you can scan the QR code, check out our website. Our Giving Tuesday campaign is really about help create a world where everyone belongs, recreation without barriers. So getting people with different disabilities into our programs. So our campaign will fund transportation, inclusion, different equipment that's needed. So again, recreation without barriers is really the world that we're looking for. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's exactly what you provide, and so inspiring in so many ways. So exactly as Liz said, if you haven't already, scan that QR code. There it will take you directly to their website, which is slsf.me, slsf.me. So be sure to check out their website, learn more about what it is they do to make our world a better place. And if you can, please send a contribution their way. And as always, I know you folks, like everybody else, are looking for volunteers and driving, whatever it is you need. It's on your website. So please go there. And Liz, thank you so much for joining me once again and allowing me to share your story. And please stick around. You're going to not want to miss, but you already know the next guest, Mr. Michael DeMeyer, the vice chairman of Faith Feeds Food Pantry. And if you don't know, I know you do, Liz, but our listeners may not. Faith Feeds Food Pantry is committed to combating food insecurity across northwestern Cook County through compassion, collaboration, and action. So stick around backstage. Liz, we're going to send you back and welcome Michael to the show. So thank you again, and happy Giving Tuesday. Michael, how are you? Thank you for your patience in helping us get through that quick snafu, and me, of course, running a little bit behind because I can't stop flapping my gums, as you know. But it's such an honor once again to have you on and talk a little bit about Faith Feeds Food Pantry and what it is you do. Having been on the show before, I was just so inspired to know what it is you do, why you do it, and how you got to be so involved, from a small volunteer to now a big role. So if you don't mind, talk a little bit about Faith Feeds Food Pantry and who you are and what it is you all do.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me on today. So we're a food pantry based in Palatine, Illinois. We serve the surrounding communities in northwestern Cook County. We have a brick and mortar site that's open twice a week in the Community Resource Center on Rand Road there. But what we're maybe more known for is that we also operate a mobile food pantry, which goes out to large apartment complexes in the area. So 5 times a month on a rotating schedule, we go out to these large apartment complexes and we're able to set up a food pantry on site. And then folks more or less just have to step outside the front door and are able to receive some of the services that they need. This is very important because one of the major problems that food pantries are facing in this day and age is that a lot of folks are having a hard time physically getting to the food pantry, whether that's due to transportation situations, whether you're a single parent, it's hard for you to make the time. We're able to sort of bridge that accessibility gap a little bit by bringing the food pantry to these people and being able to serve them. So in any given month, between the two sides of our operation, we typically see about 1,500 families corresponding to about 5,000 individuals. And we have a strong emphasis on being able to provide fresh, healthy options for our clients. We just finished a major project in our space where we opened up a walk-in fridge and freezer. And so now we have the storage capacity to be able to distribute the types of food that we want to give out. So when folks come to our food pantry, they know that they can expect a healthy array of options. They know that they can expect milk. They know they can expect many varieties of fresh produce. They know that they can expect meat. And so we're able to serve our clientele with the dignity and compassion that we believe that they deserve.
Unbelievable. And food insecurity is something that's been talked about significantly as of late, given what's happened at the federal level with the government shutdowns and various benefits not being given to families. And I'm sure you guys are seeing a significant uptick in need. And I always like to, if I can, ask the question of what have you seen and what is that done to an organization like yours that is so impactful already? And I could only imagine are starting to feel the pressure of trying to serve more people.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 6 weeks or so in the food pantry sector. Of course, we had the SNAP interruption starting this month when the funding ran out to fund SNAP through the USDA. That situation now has been resolved, but we're going to be heading to another situation next year, which is maybe this was sort of a bit of a run for that. So during the SNAP interruption earlier this month, we saw about a 40% increase in the folks that we saw. We're happy we were able to sort of meet that need. Our organization was sort of really born in COVID, so we're kind of used to thriving in chaotic situations and being able to kind of
nothing different, right?
Yeah, we certainly it gives you a certain perseverance and confidence in your ability to be able to handle the things coming new. But coming up next year, we're going to be seeing some significant changes in the way that SNAP is distributed because there's going to be new work requirements, which are very strict, and so that's going to bring a lot of folks to the food pantry who've never been there before. So there's a lot of folks who come who have seasonal work, and maybe they're working in the summer and maybe not so much in the winter. We have folks who are single parents, and maybe it's hard for them to get 80 hours a month of work in. WIC will cover you for the first 5 years, but once your child turns 5, there isn't really a program that's going to support that. And so these are working individuals who are sort of doing the right thing, and we want to be sure that our organization is there to be able to step up and help those folks when these new work requirements go in, if they do indeed lose their eligibility for SNAP.
Yeah, it's so impactful. And, you hear through the media some of the impact, but hearing from somebody like yourself who sees it, recognizes it, and is working to solve it is so much more inspiring, right? And one of the things I've always appreciated, not only about Faith Feeds and how you collaborate with different congregations throughout the Northwest suburbs, but as you said, started in chaos, right? Rooted in COVID, if you will. And Michael, you may not know this, but you inspire me because as I've learned about you, you started as a small volunteer, right? You didn't envision yourself becoming this role, if you will, right, in the community and leading in certain degrees this organization. And so it's just a testament to who you are and what it is you believe in and making our world a better place. And I wanted just to acknowledge that because I understand working with as many organizations like Faith Feeds, like it starts with a small seed, and then before you know it, it grows into a mighty oak like yourself, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was and still am a stay-at-home parent, and so I cannot tilt my camera because otherwise you're just going to see a whole bunch of toys and Legos on the floor. This kind of started out as something I was just kind of looking to do, and I'm in my spare hours, and just kind of grew and grew from there, and now it's kind of a major part of what I do. But yeah, it's been quite a ride, but it's been quite a ride for the organization. We just received our 501c3 status last year, and we're still very much a growing organization. We only have one part-time staffer, and so any money that is donated to us, it really goes a long way because most of our funds are going to be going to the food and the operations to support what we do. It's going to go to support. It's going to buy it's going to buy a tank of gas for the mobile food pantry. It's going to make sure we have the supplies we need for that. It's going to make sure that we can fill up any sort of gaps that we might have, in our food or produce. In any given week, maybe we don't get eggs. We want to be able to go out and be able to get that, and so we can provide that for our clients. And so, any dollar donated to us goes a long way. We typically we ask folks if you might be interested in supporting our organization. $100 is going to give us the support to feed another family of 4 for a month, and so that's a fantastic way to support us. We're always looking to get people involved with donations, with volunteers, and with food drop-offs. And so we're still a growing and emerging organization, but we're one that is prepared to sort of handle what's kind of coming next year. And we're looking to be able to continue to make an impact as our organization grows and thrives.
I love it. You said it beautifully. $100 donation serves a family of 4 for 1 month. And so if you haven't already scanned that QR code, it'll take you directly to faithfeedsfp.org, faithfeedsfp.org. There you can learn all about the work of Faith Feeds Food Pantry, make a donation if you so shall wish, sign up to volunteer. Michael, it's been so great to have you on the show once again. If you haven't connect with Michael on LinkedIn. He's sharing great content. Follow Faith Feeds and all the social media channels. Is there anywhere else we should be referring folks to before we introduce our next guest, Michael?
No, that's fine. We're mostly on our website, mostly on our Facebook at facebook.com/faithfeeds.
All right. You heard it there first. So Michael, thank you so much. We're going to send you backstage. Our next guest is not going to be with us, and that's okay. We're going to just really highlight quickly. Miss Karen Bruck was supposed to be our next guest with A.D.O.P.T Shelter. And A.D.O.P.T Shelter believes every pet deserves love, healing, and a second chance. They're a rescue shelter in Naperville that offers adoption services, affordable vet care, and training programs. Karen had a medical emergency yesterday and unfortunately was unable to join us, but she's a great friend of mine, and I've worked closely with Hell Hail Auctions. And so if you haven't already, check out adoptshelter.org, and we'll link Karen's information here in the comments later on today. But Michael, we're going to introduce you next to Dr. Natalia Nieves. She's the Director of Human Services with the City of Rolling Meadows, here representing Hope Fund, which you may be familiar with. And Hope Fund is the nonprofit arm of the City of Rolling Meadows to help offset financial hardships and find resources for crisis victims of all kinds. So be sure to stick around backstage and hear what Dr. Nieves has to say about Hope Fund. Michael, thank you once again, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Chris. See you later.
Thank you. You're not Dr. Nieves.
I am not.
Are we doing a schedule change?
We're doing a slight delay. She was here and she's off camera at the moment. So
we're running behind.
We're running behind, but you know what? For now, why don't we just go ahead and, because I didn't put up the QR code for the A.D.O.P.T shelter. Just real quick, we'll do a shout out since we're kind of slightly.
Yeah. Again,
for a second.
Karen, who we met earlier for a different organization when she was with that organization, has moved on to A.D.O.P.T shelter, and we were hoping to have her on today to talk about her new organization and her furry friends and all the work it is they do. But we hope she gets better soon. Karen, we're thinking of you and love you, of course. And so, Sia, if Dr. Nieves is not back there, we can maybe go to Christine and just do a quick flip. How does that sound?
I'm okay with it. If Christine, give me a thumbs up if you're cool. Okay, she's cool. So we're gonna.
I know she's cool, but we got to make sure she's good with the flip.
She's all cool right. With the flip.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce to you, Sia, if you HHH Ranch, and its founder, Christine Duran, and she's also the board president. HHH Ranch was founded in 2015 as a haven where healing and hope flourish for both people and animals, and and serves individuals navigating physical, emotional, and behavioral challenges, and they provide connection through camps and various learning opportunities. So, see, as much as I love you, we're going to bring Christine on to talk all about HHH Ranch.
Good morning.
Christine,
hello.
Thanks for being so nimble and being willing to step up to the plate and pinch hit while we get our ducks in a row. But I was so excited to have met you offline a few weeks ago and learn all about the amazing work it is that you do and the healing you provide. And your story is one of perseverance, like many of the organizations we've highlighted over the last couple hours. So I'm excited to introduce you to the world and learn more about HHH Ranch. So the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Let me know when your ducks are in a row, because mine never are. So I'm fine with flip-flopping. It's okay. So thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Please talk a little bit about HHH Ranch, what it is you guys are rooted in, what it is you do, how you got started, and who are you, frankly?
Most definitely. So we started HHH Ranch 10 years ago, but it's been a 20-year dream in the making that I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life when I was in high school. Of course not, I was high school. Everyone was talking about what they wanted to do. So I have a very deep faith, and I was like, all right, why am I here? I'm driving home, and I'm like, Lord, give me a sign. Make it be a large sign. I love people. I love animals. I love helping things. What am I here to do? And before I say amen, I say, okay, well, we all know what I'm like, and I'm going to need a large flashing sign. So I say amen, and I happen to pass a strip mall being built, and there's this large flashing sign that says, called Good Samaritans Boys Ranch, 2-day exclamation point. So, it's pre-cell phone days, so you're writing the number on your hand. I go home, I call, and I just so happen to talk with the person who's running it. And it is a safe haven for troubled youth. And I said, okay, that's where I'm going. I knew I wouldn't be able to get there right away. I was a teenager. So instead, I started volunteering at therapy facilities. I moved to Madrid, Spain, found a facility there, had someone teach me how to run a therapy facility. And then in 2014, when I felt like, okay, I'm kind of trucking along, I suffered a traumatic brain injury. And I had to relearn how to touch my fingertips to my thumbs, forgot my siblings' names, fell out of love with my husband. It was just this whole whirlwind. My world got turned upside down. And I wasn't able to do my job that I was doing, which is I was an advocate for people with disabilities. And suddenly I was the one with a disability that could not function. And I really think that it was a blessing in disguise. I had always been compassionate towards people with disabilities, and I became empathetic. And so I think it's why HHH is so strong, is because we take in rescue horses, and farm animals, but mainly horses. So we go to auction for slaughter. We get calls from the community. We work with animal control, Department of Ag, Sheriff's Department. So we get these really extreme cases that come in. We rehab these animals. I personally retrain them, and then they get used in our therapy programs. And our therapy programs consist of a veterans and first responders program. We work with children in foster care and post-adoption. We work with physical and cognitive disabilities. We have a lot of individuals that come in suffering from addiction, and the horses help heal. You know, they're there to empower you. A horse can feel how fast your heart is beating from 10 feet away. So they're just these like magical beings that can do so much more than just traditional therapy. And it's really cool how we're taking these nationally and internationally recognized programs and using these horses that were just tossed aside like trash. And then they get to come back super strong and change people's lives as well.
It's so amazing and miraculous. And as we've gotten to know one another, and if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It'll take you directly to HHHranchil.org, directly to HHH Ranch's website. Once again, HHHranchil.org. There you can find out about the amazing programs Christine was just explaining and describing, or you can make a donation in celebration of Giving Tuesday. And as we were talking offline long ago, Christine, you know, the communities of which you serve, I have near and dear to my heart: first responders, veterans, the disabled community, etc. And what I know in my work as an auctioneer and fundraiser, right, organizations that also support animals command big dollars, and they have great interest amongst various populations. And you kind of are combining both of those worlds. And I could only imagine the challenges it provides, working with rescue animals, as well as rescuing people in their own regard, if you will. I know she froze, Sia, and we're just going to keep rolling with it and hope she comes back and can hear us.
Sorry.
There she is.
I thought it was
That's okay.
Not me. It said I had
Did you
full
hear what
bars.
I was saying how inspiring it is that not only do you save people, but you also save animals, right? In my work, I recognize and I see organizations, and rightfully so, that focus on the human experience in whatever capacity it is they can make it better for people. And that's noble, right? And needed, frankly. But how you intersect saving humans in their own as well as animals is just so inspiring and provides its own unique challenges I could only imagine. So talk briefly about some of the challenges you've endured and some of the financial restraints it's put on the organization, because it is Giving Tuesday, and we want to make sure folks know the impact that their $5, $10, $20 contribution to HHH Ranch really makes.
Absolutely. So no donation is too small. HHH Ranch survives on $5 to $50 donations. Last year, with the economy, we saw a deep nosedive with that, and it added up to a $40,000 shortfall for us. So those $5 to $50 donations, don't ever think your donation is too small for a nonprofit, no matter who you give to, because every dollar counts for us. So in ways for people to know, $250 for a month to be in our program. Right now, we have over 50% of our students.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Well, while we try to get Christine back, if you haven't already, scan that QR code, please. It'll take you directly to hhhranch.il or il.org. Are you back, Christine? No, not yet. We're going to give her one more chance before we welcome Dr. Nieves to the show. I want to make sure that HHH Ranch, of course, gets their recognition and deserved attention. And the good news is Christine is going to be a guest. There she is. She's back. All right. Christine, do you hear us and see us?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Yeah.
That's okay. So while we were wrapping up, I wanted just to say, and as I was saying, right, you were mentioning $250 helps provide services for a program for a month, I believe. So I want to make sure you can finish your thought. So please go ahead.
Yeah, and on average, every horse that we take in is $5,000 per year. Usually we do 2 to 5 horses per year, and Triple H is up to 22 horses in 2025. The most that we have ever done in our 10-year history is 13 horses. So the calls just are never ending. They don't stop coming. So any small donation is greatly appreciated.
Yes, and the work you do and continue to do and the growth that you're envisioning for Triple H Ranch is so inspiring and needed. And I've been so excited and honored to introduce you to some other folks who've already been on earlier today. And that's the beauty of what it is I hope to bring to the world is cross collaboration and introducing you to great people like our next guest, Christine. And so, folks, if you haven't already, please go to hhhranchil.org. There you can make a contribution. Christine, how can folks connect with you before we say goodbye and welcome our next guest?
So reaching out on our website, there's a contact form. You can also, our phone number, feel free to call us. It's 708-689-9889. We'd be happy to talk with you about any of the programs that we run.
I love it. And again, if you haven't already scanned that QR code, it'll take you to HHH Ranch. I'm fumbling my words. We've been on 2 hours already,
That's
so forgive
okay.
me. It's hhhranchil.org. There you'll find out about the amazing work of Triple H Ranch. And of course, Christine, thank you so much. And I'm excited to introduce you now to Dr. Natalia Nieves. She's the Director of Human Services for the City of Rolling Meadows, and she leads the Hope Fund. The Hope Fund is a nonprofit arm of the City of Rolling Meadows, and they're intended to help offset financial hardships and find resources for victims in crisis of all kinds. So, Christine, thanks so much. Stick around backstage and hear what Dr. Nieves has to say. You won't want to miss it.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it.
Dr. Nieves, how are you? I'm so excited to have you on the show. And it's been a whirlwind for us to connect, but I'm so glad that we finally are able to today. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. My video seems to be stuck, but can you hear me?
We can hear you beautifully. Yes, your video's stuck, but that's okay. What matters
That's an
most is what you
awful
have to say
angle.
about Hope Fund.
No problem. Well, I'm sad that it kind of got stuck there, but we'll make it work.
That's it.
I am the director of the City of Rolling Meadows, and I absolutely, love to have been given the opportunity to create the Hope Fund after years and years of like knocking on churches' doors and calling in lots of favors from local businesses. We finally said, let's do a small nonprofit. And the nonprofit solely exists to provide emergency financial assistance to survivors of crime or tragedies. And so it ends up being a lot of survivors of domestic violence that come through our police department, survivors of sexual assault, of child abuse, of elder abuse and neglect, things that nobody thinks are going to happen to them, right? And then they do, and we have the ability to just be there with that piece. So it allows us to, put someone up at a hotel for a couple nights, to purchase a dinner for a survivor after a tragedy, to we bought emergency car seats, we've bought emergency changes of clothes, we've been able to grow the fund. We started it at the end of 2021. It was the chief and I just kind of started this up and kept going, and then I kind of kept them going, we can pay people's rents at emergency basis. And we recently had a survivor of a fire, and we went in the middle of the night and we bought everybody new clothes, and we bought them dinner, and we put them up in a hotel. And we can really only do that with the Hope Fund.
I love it. It just goes to show the forward thinking that the City of Rolling Meadows, yourself, the chief of police, have implemented, right? And I think in your role, you could understand, I worked for a governmental agency myself for 10 years. Sometimes government gets a bad rap, right? Meaning you don't help people. There aren't forward thinking. There's so much red tape. And the creativity that it took to launch the Hope Fund, I could only imagine what you all went through. But the fact that you're uplifting, the residents of Rolling Meadows in crisis and able to provide a meal or give a new set of clothes to a fire survivor. It just makes me feel so full of joy because my sister lives in Rolling Meadows and I'm in Arlington Heights, just right across the street from Clearbrook in Kimball Park, right? And so knowing the work that you all have and do and uplift for your, I think you're back. Oh, we froze you again, but you're smiling this time. But nevertheless, Dr. Neves, it's just so, it provides hope, and it's so eloquently and rightfully named the Hope Fund. And so, you said you started in 2021. Talk a little bit about some of those hurdles and what it took and what you had to endure to make sure that this was done properly, running alongside a governmental agency.
Absolutely. So at the end of 2021, a little bit before Christmas, there was a huge fire at Coach Light condos, and 17 families were displaced. So, we let's the mayor at the time said, let's make a GoFundMe. And I was like, okay, let's make a GoFundMe. And part of me was, goodness, I wish we could make a GoFundMe for the hundreds of survivors of domestic violence and sexual violence that this type of loss happens to. Many times it means it mirrors a fire, right? Just having to walk away with nothing, leaving nothing, taking nothing with you. And so, I got to talk to the council and explain my rationale as to why we needed our own fund, and they supported it. I think nothing major happens in local cities without the support of a council, and I have to say that's been really wonderful to have the vote of confidence. Like, human services, what the city needs, and and to see that these programs are really thriving. So after that, GoFundMe, we ended up giving every survivor about $12,000. It was really successful, and I said, gosh, I want to do this more. So of course, we have limitations as to what we can give people now, about $1,500 per situation per family. But with this fundraiser, because 100% raised, donations is 100% donations, right? So, any and all amounts, we really stretch those dollars, right? $10 pay for someone's breakfast, $50 pays for, a change of clothes for a survivor, a hotel night, it's $100. And, so every little bit counts, and we save up and we do, other fun events. Like, for example, our Department of Human Services has always been the kind of liaison between police and fire. And we do an event called Shop with a Hero, and we take the kids shopping. And, social workers are really fun, but the kids really love police and fire. So they get to do the shopping.
Social workers listening, you did not hear that. We promise.
Right. They want to go shopping with police and fire. They want to go shopping with the heroes. So we provide the gift cards and they go shopping. Yeah, we also facilitate a holiday giving tree that we're actually doing right now. And, to be honest, we are really struggling. It's kind of like those angel trees. We did a lot of ornaments that signify a family or a child, an adult, a whole family, the whole family that needs gifts, and it's like their wish list, and you pick up the ornament, and the ornament gives you what they want, and then you buy those toys and bring them back to City Hall, and we wrap and deliver. We have well over 50 ornaments that have not been picked up yet, and we're hoping for a little bit of a holiday miracle here. And I was hoping to just kind of do a little bit of a pitch for that.
The need is significant in all communities, and again, Rolling Meadows being no different. And so, if you have not already, please scan that QR code. It'll take you directly to the Hope Fund's website, which is cityrm.org/948/Hope Fund. And it's just so inspiring, Dr. Nieves, to hear how this organization came to be. I know, and I recall the fires at the Coach Light apartments and how traumatic that was. And what I've learned, and through my own experiences, is through tragedy comes something beautiful, provided there's people like yourself to forge ahead. And so I want to just thank you for your tenacity and for your forward thinking and for your desire to do something different in a governmental agency. because this is not often that governmental agencies have charitable arms that are able to uplift citizens in need in times of crisis. It's often the city has relationships with organizations like Journeys or the SLSF, and finds out ways to partner. But you're putting your boots to the ground, not only as the director of human services, but leading the Hope Fund. So thank you so very much.
Thank you for the opportunity to highlight our program. It really is makes a difference to be able to have a checkbook and a debit card on hand at all times, 24/7. My team is on call 24/7 to respond to these situations. People shouldn't wait for a change of clothes or a hotel night if they're in a crisis. So
I love it. Well, thank you so very much. And if you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It'll take you directly to cityrm.org/948/Hope Fund. There you can learn more and make your contribution to uplift the Hope Fund through the city of Rolling Meadows. Dr. Nieves, please stick around backstage for our last but not least guest on this Giving Tuesday Give-A-Thon, Ms. Trieger Strasberg, the founder of Humble Design. If you don't know, Humble Design's goal is to help end homelessness one home at a time. Through furnishing homes for people transitioning out of homelessness into stable housing, they're creating dignity through thoughtful design. So please stick around backstage, Dr. Nieves, and see if you don't mind, please bring Trieger to the floor.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Trieger, thank you so much for your patience. As I say, last but certainly not least, this is a story I'm so excited to hear a little bit more about. And then next week, we're going to hear even more about, because you're going to be our full-time guest on the appeal, I believe. But we're celebrating Giving Tuesday, and Humble Design is certainly something to be celebrated in itself. So if you don't mind, talk a little bit about yourself, how you started this amazing organization, and what Humble Design is all about.
Sure. Well, I just want to say that was no problem waiting in the waiting room. I was so enthralled with all of your guests. It was so much fun. So I could have waited through a bunch more of that. That was amazing.
All right, see, you heard it. That means next year is a 4-hour show.
I'm down. Kudos to you for having all these amazing people and finding all of them and creating this this platform for them. So bravo.
Thank you. I'm lucky.
I just want to.
I'm lucky. Thank you.
We're lucky to have somebody like you be our champion. But my name is Trieger. Hi, everyone. I in 2009 moved to Detroit, and anybody knows 2009 in Detroit, we had a lot of need there. And so what ended up happening was I met a woman who was moving out of a homeless shelter and into her home, which she was very excited about. And when I went to go visit her there, I realized that she was sleeping on the floor with her kids in little nests that they made on the ground with their coats. And so the story that she told me was one that I've heard many times since. When they left their last place and weren't able to cover their rent, they had to leave everything behind. They didn't have the extra money to put anything in storage or to have a moving van. And when they went to the homeless shelter, they took 2 bags of their clothes. So I went home immediately and started looking through my stuff that I might want to donate to this family, and then asked my neighbors, asked people in the grocery line. I became known as a furniture lady. My friend and I drove a pickup truck around, this giant pickup truck that I had to use a ladder to get into. I'm 5 foot even, by the way. So we started moving all this furniture in, but she was my friend. So I wanted to connect her with stuff that was dignified and nice, and felt like, she felt connected to, that she had a design and a hand in the design. So when I was done, it took us 6 weeks. We furnished her entire house, got her all the beds, all of the linens, all of the kitchen items, everything that she would need to restart her life, all from the community, just donated. And when we were done, people didn't know that that project was over. So they kept donating and donating and donating, and the stuff kept piling up. And I felt the need to give it to people who really were in need of that stuff, and not donate it or give it to someone that was going to resell it, because it was given to me in the hope that I was going to help somebody. And so that's how I started the nonprofit. That was in 2009. I'm going to yada yada. We've helped over 12,000 individuals in 5 states. And we have a 98% success rate of keeping families sustainably housed.
It's unbelievable. So you were forced into it through donations, right? Organizations are like, and I'm saying this in jest, but organizations are begging for donations. And you were like, hey, I had enough. And now here you are in 4 cities across America, doing amazing work, having an amazing success rate of keeping people housed through thoughtful design. And having gotten to meet your team, thus far, you've grown exponentially since '09, right? Like this hasn't been a small feat. So talk a little bit about what it's taken you to get into these 4 cities, the scope of your team now. Like it's very impressive for somebody who just wanted to help a friend.
Well, not only that, but we're running a business. This nonprofit is obviously nobody's getting wealthy off this.
Sure.
We end up donating more than any of our employees actually take home. But what ends up happening is that you have to think of it like a business. So now we have lots of employees. We have 30 to 60,000 square foot warehouses. U-Haul is able to donate the warehouse in Chicago, which is our big part of our overhead. So we were able to come to Chicago. And that was our second city after Detroit. And it is through these partnerships of people who don't necessarily need all of the recognition, but just generally want to do the work. Because what we do is hard work with a lot of elbow grease. It's a lot of moving big furniture. It's a lot of decor. We have 10 volunteers come down to every house with us to do the cleaning and the work and the moving of all the stuff and the decorating. So it's a lot of people who came together who just they want to do something. They feel that, and I personally also feel that anxiety, the antidote to anxiety is action. So you get to go into a house at 9 a.m. and then at 3 p.m. when the family comes home, you get to see the love and genuine relief that the family has, and that is directly because of your hard work. And I feel like there's a large population of people out there who just want to do something, and this gives them that opportunity.
I love it. And you're right. Curing anxiety through action, right? We all have this desire to do something. We don't yet know what it is. It often comes some revelation, right? You in a grocery line, me in a traumatic experience, and some of our other founders, Kurt DeGroot, right? Being a firefighter, seeing firsthand what Project Fire Buddies can do, and then growing it to 165 locations. It just keeps growing, and the level of astonishment I have never ceases, because I continue to meet great people like yourself, and knowing that, not only are you working towards ending homelessness, right, but you're making sure people have dignity with it. Because again, that is oftentimes the differentiator, right, whether or not they stay housed. And your guys, in some of the photos I've seen of some of your work and some of the level of professionalism and the materials you provide is second to none. So what goes into that, right? Aside from donations, right? Talking about some of the work your team has to put in on a daily basis to make sure this operation is a success.
I'm a firm believer that you cannot solve a problem without dignity and empathy, because when we're talking about homelessness or unhoused, we're talking about people, not a problem, not a subset of, a number. These are individuals, and so when you look at it that way and you say that this is a problem we're trying to solve, no, we have to go in with clear-eyed, with zero judgment to each situation, and give them all of the empathy and dignity that they were born with. They're inherently deserving of. And so when we meet a family, our designers go in at the beginning of the week, and they meet the family, and they sit on the floor with them of their empty place, usually an apartment, and they say, well, who are you, and what do you like, and what do you dream about, and what do your kids like, and what do you want to see for them? And it's actually a really amazing moment, because a lot of our families aren't used to that. They're used to being asked, what's your social security number? How much government subsidies are you on? And so when we approach them with dignity and empathy and try to make them feel seen, it is amazing, the transformation of mental health transformation. And our numbers are not only keeping people sustainably housed, but also keeping people financially growing, and their mental health improves. And so we have this large study done about what actually approaching people with empathy and dignity does, and what our program does. So our designers go in, they meet with the family, they approach them with dignity and empathy. Then they go back to the warehouse. They collect all the things that they want to see in their home, the designers pick for them. Then when we come back, we ask the family to leave. And we do this because we don't want them to feel nervous or feel like they have to do things. A lot of our families feel very aware that, they don't want to feel like they're taking charity. So we just want to make them feel like we're there for them. They leave the house for the day. They go and take their kids to school. At 3 p.m., they come home. And in the meantime, we have put together an entire house for them the way that they want to see it, not the way that we want to see it, not the design that we want to see. We've had, all these kind of crazy design requests, and we honor them because it is your home. And so when the families come home at 3 o'clock with their kids, not only do they have a home that's functioning, but it's a home that reflects them and they feel seen in. And to be a part of a community that sees you and to be part of a community that wants you there is just as transformative as the furniture. And I will say a lot of our volunteers feel like they get just as much out of the humble design experience as our clients do. So everything that we do is approached with dignity and humanity.
I love it. I love it. If you haven't already, please scan that QR code. It seems somebody just did, thankfully, and it'll take you directly to humbledesign.org, HUMBLEDESIGN.org. There you can learn about the amazing work of Humble Design and see some of the fantastic homes they've helped create to provide dignity, as you so beautifully said. And I believe wholeheartedly in that, is if you meet people where they're at and you meet them with dignity and respect and empathy, so much could be solved in this world. And I know you're doing your part, and it's just so inspiring, and I'm so thankful to have you on. And so Trigger,
come on down, everybody.
Later. So, please, talk before we, end today's show. We'll bring Sia on and welcome and send you backstage, but talk a little bit about Giving Tuesday, what it is you guys have planned for that, and we'll move about our day.
So we do 3 homes a week in most of our cities, Chicago included. And Trish, the leader of our city there, is working tirelessly to make every single cent count. So anytime anybody donates a piece of furniture, wonderful, but any money at all, what we do is we use it to fill the gas tank in our trucks to get the furniture down. We use it to pay our warehouse manager. We use it to keep the lights on. And so during the Christmas and the holiday season, it's really important that we have people who are aware of our program, not only signing up for Days of Joy, which are these days that you can go down and volunteer for the next year. If your company wants to come down, it's an amazing time to bond with your company. We're booking those now out through the year, but it also helps us get through the holiday season and use the donations that people are giving now to make sure that we're able to help as many people as we can in the coming year. We've grown every single year in Chicago since we opened, and this year is going to be no exception. We're going to have more people this year than we ever have, and we need your help to do that.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for serving my community, the city of Chicago. I hold near and dear to my heart. So Trigger, thank you so much. If you haven't already scanned that QR code, we're going to send you backstage. I'm going to bring Sia on to end it. Thank you for being our last guest. But I've just had so much fun highlighting Humble Design. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us and doing this. It was amazing.
All right, Sia, you're up. There you have it. We did it. You're muted, I think.
I'm on mute. Do I have to? You're going to make me come back? What?
I am.
I'm kidding.
I am. I wanted just one more time to say thank you so much. Without you and Brilliant Beam Media, this 2-hour Give-A-Thon, Stream-A-Thon, celebrating Giving Tuesday would not be possible. You are just so good at what you do. Today's show ran so smoothly, even though we've had a hiccup or two, power outages, and it is what it is. But without your professionalism and your patience and flexibility, this wouldn't have been a success. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. You should have heard all the expletives coming out. Let me tell you, I was like, what just happened? And it was literally someone's doing construction, apparently, because I heard knock and all of a sudden out. And I was like, son of a seacock.
Well, I saw my phone ring and it was you. And I'm like, why is she calling me in the middle of the show she's producing? And then poor Natalie had the QR code on her face. And I'm like, Sia, move the QR code. And then I realized you were out. So it wouldn't be an episode of The Appeal without a hiccup. But again, I'm anxious to hear where we're going to be sending $50 on your behalf too. So you'll have to let me know backstage where we're going to make a donation to celebrate Giving Tuesday. But once again, today's show, frankly.
Oh, you went mute. You muted.
How did I get muted? Well, anyways, as I was saying, today's show is not possible without some great sponsorship and partnerships. And of course, as I said earlier, Speakeasy Custom Tattoo is located in the Wicker Park neighborhood of Chicago in the historic Flatiron Building. With over 30 years of experience, they have curated a staff of magnificently talented local and international artists, and they continue to host monthly guest artists from all over the world. They're an appointment-only custom tattoo shop offering a wide range of styles in a clean and relaxing atmosphere. And no matter the style you're looking for, they will absolutely help make your vision come to life. Be sure to check out their artists on their website at www.speakeasycustomtattoo.com. Be sure to tell them Chris sent you. And as everybody knows, I love Speakeasy and Patrick and Kelly. I also love you, Sia, and Brilliant Beam Media. Once again, thank you for all it is that you do to help me be who I am and to uplift some of these amazing organizations like we just did over the last 2 hours. We did that pretty well, and that was pretty impressive. So thank you once again. But once again, folks, my name is Chris Maliszewski with Hail Hail Auctions. Thank you for joining us for the last 2 hours on this Giving Tuesday Give-A-Thon. I'm booking fast in 2026, so if you're looking for an auctioneer, please reach out, hailhailauctions@gmail.com. But yeah, today's been a heck of a lot of fun. So wanted just to thank Tausi. We're going to get to that commercial and sign off. So Sia, before we do, is there anything else you want to say?
No, you said it all, my friend. Happy holidays to everybody.
Yep. Happy holidays. We'll be on live next Monday with Trigger once again for the half hour. So be sure to tune in then, and have a great rest of your day. Celebrate Giving Tuesday. Give what you can. Volunteer where you can. Donate what you can. And let's make our world a better place. So have a great rest of your day. Hail, hail.
Falling asleep with your neck in the wrong position can be a real pain in the neck. Literally. People of all ages are falling for Tausi. Tausi gives you the comfort you've always dreamed of. Go to TausiBrands.com and get your comfort on.